Hello everyone, my name is Tegan Riley and I'm back with the week 4 discussion. For the reflection on the story about the babies, I think what stood out to me the most was how Professor Selby was feeling a lot of moral outrage and some superiority over the nurses who were taking care of the babies, who obviously were not following great standards or treating them super great. But when she felt convicted, realizing that the babies aren't the only people in this situation who are created in the image of God and worthy of Him, the nurses are as well. So by making that kind of moral judgment, you're saying that the babies are worth God's love and affection and all those things, and then the nurses just kind of aren't. So I like how she talked about how deeply that hit her. It made her think about that situation in a different way, and probably had a little bit of more empathy and generosity toward them, even though obviously there were other things going on. And then for how that applies to my life, I think I could just using that idea for me, when I feel like I'm morally superior in a situation, just realizing that when I do that, I'm inherently saying that I think I deserve God's love and I've earned my way better than someone else has. So you're kind of just ranking yourselves, even though God doesn't condone that at all. For the prompt about getting a gift that you really hate, I would tell the truth, because I just don't feel I don't love lying to people if I don't have to. Well, that sounds bad. Lying just feels wrong, which I guess it is, but even if it's in this simple of a situation, because it's not you have to be no, it's ugly, I hate it. You can tell the truth in a gentle way. So I think that's a little bit of where empathy comes in, of realizing how they're probably their thought process and being able to manage that a little bit, which would be something that Kant would also agree with, because he doesn't agree with lying in the sense of when you lie, you're using someone as a means to an end. So if you're lying to them, you're manipulating them, but you're also kind of your end is protecting their feelings and I guess not facing that hard situation, but you're kind of disregarding the fact that they are capable of making their own opinions and their own thoughts, and they deserve the truth. So I would tell the truth, even though it's definitely hard to do that, especially when it's something that might be important to them. And then I feel that also respects people's dignity, because, as Kant would say, people, humans are fully, we're fully rational. So, even if it's hard to hear it, they're fully capable of, understanding what you're saying and, managing that on their own. They don't need you to, make the decision for them, the rational idea for them. So I would say that telling the truth, even though it's hard, is respecting their dignity, and rather than lying to make them feel better, because you're actually just disregarding all of the important things. And I respect people more when they tell me the truth, or I respect a person more when I tell them the truth than when I lie to them, because telling the truth is you're giving them the option to feel the things that to know what's really going on and to have an opinion with all the facts, I guess. So that is my discussion for the week.